What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast, and this is probably one of the most important videos I have made thus far. And it's going to get very interesting, so stay tuned for the whole video because you're going to see that where we're going. It's getting very, very crazy, very risky. So I hope this episode will bring you some value and help guide you in a direction in which you can kind of calculate your moves for yourself. Now, we have this by Jeremy Hogan, which came out, well, James Fallon came out with the news and he's commenting on the news. And this is what James Fallon said. He said, breaking discovery dispute regarding SEC contacting foreign regulators and seeking discovery outside rules of federal procedure and Hague Convention. And then he attaches the letter so you can go and check it out yourself. So what happened was the SEC was going outside of their jurisdiction with, or domestic jurisdiction, and going overseas to try to get some discovery, seeking some discovery from it's the Ripple's partners. And so that is illegal from my understanding. Now, Jeremy Hogan says here the SEC is going to foreign regulators and requesting documents Ripple's business partners. The foreign governments then request documents from those partners. This places regulatory pressure and burden on Ripple's foreign business partners. This is not something a typical plaintiff could do, and it's not fair. So Ripple is calling dirty poker. Ask Finland Law, which is the guy who posted this discovery, who's a former prosecutor. This is typical government prosecutorial pressure litigation, applying pressure not only to you but your business friends as well. And then this person asks if it's legal, and do foreign regulators give documents, or can they refuse? And he replies, Judge Netmer will decide if it's legal at hearing. Apparently, the U.S. government has agreements with foreign countries that they assist each other with these requests, and that is why this is not fair. Only the SEC could make these requests, not an individual or a company. So this is seeking this. This might be something very interesting to keep monitoring, and not only that. And then Rother Kahneman gives his input. Ripple invoking the Hague Convention to stop the SEC's end around of leveraging MOUs with foreign governments to throw dirt on Ripple. They didn't tell the courts or Ripple they're outside the law. Discovery turning into a high stakes poker game for all crypto with SEC as villain. So this is getting really, really crazy. He said he's calling it a high stakes poker game for all of crypto, because this lawsuit is not just for Ripple and its native token XRP, but this is for the whole entire crypto space. And we're reaching a climax here of events where everything is aligning. And we hear talk a lot of the digital dollar and digital currencies. We hear talk about climate change. Gary Gensler got sworn in, and we're going to discuss those in just a second. But everything is coming together, and it's getting put in place for the big finale that I believe is going to come, whether that be a huge crash, because there has to be a moment in which problem, reaction, solution happens. So you have to have a problem, then there's a reaction from the public, and then the solution is presented, which will be digital currencies. And I believe that the game that central bankers are playing is high risk. They're printing like crazy. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go on to the next topic. So like I said, today Gary Gensler was sworn in April 17th. Okay? So he's officially sworn in as a member of the Securities and Exchange Commission to lead as the chairman or the chair of the SEC, okay? So this is official, and he's now in. Now, Sir Gordon, posted this, and we know about these, um, currency wars, and also that this was all staged, and Gary Gensler was part of it. And listen to what his role is. And I think this is not a coincidence, folks. All is planned ahead of time, and people know in essence what's happening, especially these people who are in high positions. And listen to what Gary Gensler says in his portion here.
been leapfrogged by others, by digital currency, by digital Chinese currency. Why? Because frankly, our central bank has been slow. And there's an appointment coming in January of 22. The president's got to decide whether to change over who's leading the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve runs our payment system. And I think we need to move that Federal Reserve into the modern era.
We need to move the Federal Reserve into the modern era. And we know that their financial task force included Ripple. They were in that. And so if you think that they haven't been, let's say, aware of everything this whole time, you're mistaken. I do believe that this is something they've been aware of, and obviously Ripple's been a part of it since the beginning. If Ripple was part of the Federal Reserve Financial Task Force from the beginning, that speaks volumes. Okay, we can't underestimate or forget about that because it's all interconnected. Everything is connected. People are connected. Companies are connected. Now, I was talking about how digital currencies are being brought up more and more and more and more. And listen to what Christine Lagarde says, and her words are worth listening to because let's not be naive about digital currencies. Yes, it'll facilitate things, but it'll give central banks the ultimate control. And digital assets are a great opportunity for the average Joe to invest in to make um, life changing decisions and money that will help you set up your family and live comfortably. You know what I mean? And so, however, on the flip side, we see that these central bankers and regulators are looking for as much power and control as they can. This is what it's leading to, okay? And I'm going to be point blank and honest here because I want to tell you guys where the current is trending. And it's something that we can't disregard. Listen to what she has to say.
You know, I talk to quite a few very determined finance ministers who fully appreciate that what has taken place in Europe with Next Generation EU, this unbelievable breakthrough in the European Union, countries deciding to jointly borrow and to give grants to the most affected ones, which had never happened in the past, is a moment that needs to be a success. And for that moment to be a success, it has to be transformative. So I see many countries that are determined to face those changes, to go through the structural reforms that are by necessity painful because you change the order of things because of that breakthrough, because of that moment in European history.
So here she's talking about um, being able to change and transform um, our current structure in different countries. Now, with that being said, there's another video of her talking about, and I'm scrolling down here to find it, but there's a right here, this one where she talks about the digital currency. So you need to have a structural change, but you also need to have that structural change in order to, foster these digital currencies. Listen to what she's saying.
We think, we central banks, and I'm not the only one here. There are, at least 80 central banks around the world that are looking at digital currencies. We think that it's a duty of us to actually have available digital currencies that would operate to the benefit of consumers. So what would it look like? Well, it could be used like banknotes. I don't think it is like banknotes because it will not have the degree of anonymity that banknotes have. And I find it very interesting, by the way, that in the consultation that we conducted, that consumers who responded in very large numbers said, we want our privacy to be protected, but we don't want anonymity, because they understand the risk of anonymity when it comes to digital currencies. we central banks,
So
and
listen to those words. I think that will give them ultimate control at the end of the day. And it literally means we'll track every transaction. We'll see exactly what you're doing. If you're not in accordance to what we say, then you will be cut off. Is essentially what comes from that. You got to read between the lines, and that's kind of where we're at, folks. Now, let's look here, and this is crazy, and this is a great breakdown in 45 seconds. Check this out.
Shit, if you believe me, Warriors, I'm looking for the uncommon 1%. Here's what's happening. The SEC went behind the court's back like little fucking kids and is trying to get foreign partners to give them information to turn them against Ripple. Not happening, buddy. You got caught. Number 2, nobody's paying attention to this. Only 1,200 people have watched this video since the 15th. The hearing of LIBOR. Do you realize that we're switching from LIBOR to SIBOR? This is going to change the interest rate system. The M1 money supply report, where the public could go look at the money supply, got discontinued. Warriors, your financial reset is here. Take your fanny pack off, get your beeper off, get off MySpace, wake the fuck up, Warriors. It's time to rise. Click the link in my bio, check out.
So M1 money supply has been cut off, and that's happened for a while. And I know there was a transition that was happening in, I believe, November and January from LIBOR to SOFR, and that it's the changing of interest rates. So this great reset's not going to happen all in one moment like that. It's been gradually happening, and it's happening right before our eyes. And there's going to be a watershed moment in which people will realize that this all happened, but it'll be too late by the time they've figured it out. Okay? So this is where we're at in time. And if you're interested, watch this video. This is what's happened in Canada. If you believe that this is temporary, of everything that's happening is temporary, I would advise you to think again. There's a lot of stuff happening where freedoms are being denied, okay, in the name of many things. So if you want to check this out, check it out. Okay, I hope this episode has brought you some value. Like and subscribe, comment below, let me hear what you think. But things are changing, and they're changing rapidly. And you have to find a way to prepare yourself as best you can to help your family. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.